In the heart of the mystical garden, where every leaf and flower holds a magical secret, Oliver never imagined that an adventure like no other awaited him. A mysterious figure appears, and with a magical staff in hand, he seeks to claim the garden's power. In that tense moment, Oliver finds himself caught between the life and death of the garden he loves. But does he have the strength to protect it? Join us on a journey filled with unexpected twists and sacrifices as Oliver fights to reclaim what is rightfully his, all for friendship and the priceless love for the garden. Spring arrived with a warm breeze, carrying with it the soft whispers of the wind through the trees, causing the leaves to gently sway. Oliver, a small white cat with soft fur, lay lazily on the highest branch of a tree, gazing at the beautiful spring landscape below. Winter had passed, and everything around seemed to awaken. The first flowers began to bloom, and the gentle breeze carried their sweet scent, filling the air with life. Spring is here, Oliver thought to himself, feeling a subtle change in the atmosphere. It wasn't just a seasonal shift. It was the start of something new, an adventure awaiting him, full of surprises and excitement. Oliver felt the change of spring, not only in the air, but deep within his heart. With a deep sigh, he stretched, rising from his cozy leaf nest. "It's time," Oliver murmured, his eyes sparkling. "Today I'll explore this garden." He leapt gracefully from the tree, landing softly on the ground, and began strolling along the narrow, winding path lined with flowers. With every step, Oliver's excitement grew. The garden is not just a place for rest, but a playground full of challenges and new discoveries. As Oliver wandered deeper into the garden, he suddenly stopped by a large tree where thick grass grew around its base. "Oh!" Oliver exclaimed, eyes fixed on something moving within the grass. There, hopping happily between the blades, was a small rabbit with soft fur and twitching ears. It was Benny, the playful little bunny, bouncing from one spot to another. "Hello, who are you?" Oliver asked, walking toward the rabbit. Benny looked up, his bright eyes gleaming. "I'm Benny, and this is where I live," the little bunny replied. "Spring is the best time, don't you think?" Oliver smiled, sensing the friendliness in Benny's voice. "Yes, spring brings such wonderful new things, but I feel there's something different about the air today." Benny hopped closer, his ears twitching with excitement. "That's the magic of spring. You'll feel it when you live in harmony with nature, with the little things around you. The simple things bring joy." With Benny's guidance, Oliver continued exploring the garden. They met Toby, a mischievous squirrel with fluffy fur hopping around joyfully. Toby was always running and playing, gathering food, and enjoying the beauty of spring with his new friends. "Hello, everyone," Toby exclaimed cheerfully. "Spring is here. Let's have some fun." Oliver, Benny, and Toby spent the day laughing, running through the blooming flowers and playing under the warm sun. They enjoyed every moment of the season, appreciating the little joys around them. Every laugh, every leap made the garden feel even more vibrant, as if the spirit of spring itself was alive within them. The morning after their exciting adventure, Oliver woke up with a sense of curiosity bubbling inside him. The garden, once just a place of peaceful beauty, now felt like a realm full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. His heart raced with the thought that there was something more in this magical place, something beyond what his eyes had already seen. "Today, I'm going to explore deeper," Oliver murmured to himself, his voice full of excitement. He stretched his paws and leapt from the tree branch, his sleek body moving with grace. The sun was rising, casting a golden glow over the garden, and the flowers were in full bloom, their colors even more vibrant than yesterday. He felt as if the entire world was waking up with him. Oliver had only begun to wander when he noticed something strange. A soft, rhythmic humming filled the air, coming from the heart of the garden where the tallest trees stood. Intrigued, he followed the sound moving silently through the underbrush. The humming grew louder, and as Oliver pushed aside a thick curtain of ivy, he found himself standing before a breathtaking sight. In the center of the garden stood a tree unlike any other. Its bark shimmered with golden light, and its branches stretched far beyond the others, weaving through the sky like the arms of a gentle giant. Hanging from its limbs were glowing orbs, bright, pulsing lights that hovered just above the ground. The orbs gave off a soft, otherworldly glow, lighting up the surrounding garden with a mystical radiance. It was as if the tree itself was alive, breathing in sync with the garden. Oliver couldn't help but gasp. This was no ordinary tree. It was something far more magical. His eyes widened with awe. "What is this place?" he whispered to himself as he stepped closer. The ground beneath him hummed with energy. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the air. "You've found it, Oliver." Oliver spun around, surprised. "Who's there?" The voice chuckled, gentle and soothing. "It's me, the guardian of the enchanted garden. I've been waiting for you." From the shadows of the tree, a figure appeared. Luna, a graceful, silver-haired fox with eyes that sparkled like stars. She stood tall, her fur shimmering with the same golden glow as the tree. There was a calm wisdom in her gaze, as if she had seen countless seasons come and go. "You've discovered the heart of the garden where magic lives and breathes. Luna continued her voice, warm and inviting. But this place isn't just for anyone. It's for those who understand the true power of nature and friendship. Oliver's heart raced, his curiosity deepening. What do you mean? Why am I here? Luna smiled, her eyes twinkling. Every season, the garden chooses a new protector, someone who will safeguard its magic and ensure that its beauty continues to grow. The garden has chosen you, Oliver. Oliver stood still, stunned by what he was hearing. Me? But I'm just a cat. I don't know anything about protecting gardens or magic. Luna's voice softened. It's not just about the garden, Oliver. It's about understanding the balance of nature, the bond between all creatures, and the strength that comes from friendship. You've already shown that you have the heart for it. Your kindness, your curiosity, and your willingness to help others are the true magic the garden needs. Oliver looked at the glowing tree, the light pulsing in time with his heartbeat. A sense of responsibility began to fill him, mixed with wonder and excitement. He had always wondered about the true meaning of life, about his purpose in the world. And now he felt as if the garden was giving him the answer. What do I need to do? Oliver asked, his voice filled with determination. Luna nodded, her silver fur shimmering in the soft light. You must gather the 3 treasures of the garden, the petals of the golden bloom, the crystal from the sacred spring, and the feather of the starlight bird. Only when you have all 3 can the true magic of the garden be unlocked. But be warned, Oliver, the journey will not be easy. There will be challenges ahead, and you will need all the courage and wisdom you've gained. Oliver took a deep breath. He was ready. He had no idea what these challenges would be, or where the treasures were hidden. But he knew one thing: he couldn't turn back now. This was the adventure he had been waiting for. Let's begin, Oliver said, his heart full of hope. As Luna led him deeper into the enchanted garden, Oliver's excitement grew. He didn't know exactly what lay ahead, but he felt the magic all around him, alive, vibrant, and waiting to be discovered. After receiving his mission from Luna, Oliver felt like he had entered a whole new world. Each step in the garden now felt like a discovery, and although Oliver never imagined himself becoming the protector of the garden, it now felt as if he had been given an important task. But before beginning, Luna carefully explained the 3 treasures that Oliver had to find: the golden petal, the crystal from the sacred spring, and the starlight bird's feather. Each treasure was hidden in deep corners of the garden, places where challenges and dangers waited. Oliver smiled with determination. He knew that no matter how difficult the journey would be, he would never give up. Looking toward Luna, Oliver felt a great encouragement in her eyes. It was as though Luna trusted him, and he was determined not to disappoint her. "Let's go." "Luna," Oliver said. His eyes filled with hope. Their journey began with the search for the golden petal. According to Luna, the golden petal only bloomed in a secret small forest where sunlight could not directly touch the ground. This forest was always damp and misty, like a place full of nature's mysteries. Oliver and Luna ventured into the forest, moving along narrow paths. But in Oliver's heart, there was only excitement. Suddenly, a soft noise caught Oliver's attention. He looked up and saw a small bird with feathers as yellow as sunlight flapping its wings gently between the leaves. "There it is!" Oliver exclaimed, running quickly toward it. The golden petal swayed in the breeze, glowing brightly in the midst of the dark forest. With a gentle gust of wind, Oliver leaped up and delicately picked the golden petal, careful not to damage its beauty. "We've got it," Oliver grinned, his eyes sparkling with joy. Next, their task was to find the crystal from the sacred spring. Luna led Oliver along sparkling streams, the water crystal clear like a mirror. They walked down small paths beside the streams, stopping now and then to marvel at the beauty of nature. Luna had mentioned that the sacred spring was the most sacred place in the garden, and the crystal they sought was at its deepest point. Oliver could feel the quiet, sacred energy in the air, and it made him feel peaceful and determined. After a while of searching, Oliver found it, the crystal. It shimmered under the sunlight, resting quietly beside the clear water. Oliver bent down and touched the crystal, feeling its energy pulse with life. "We've got the crystal," Oliver announced happily, and Luna nodded in satisfaction. With 2 treasures in hand, Oliver and Luna continued their journey to find the starlight bird's feather. This feather was the hardest to find. Only at night, when the sky was full of stars, would the starlight bird appear and drop its feather into the garden. This was the toughest challenge, as they had to wait for the perfect moment and face the unexpected nature of the world. One night, under the full moon, Oliver and Luna sat beneath the starry sky. They waited patiently, and when the light from the stars fell upon them, suddenly a soft breeze blew, and a starlight feather fell, landing gently in Oliver's paws. "We've completed the task," Oliver exclaimed, his voice full of pride. With all 3 treasures, the golden petal, the crystal from the sacred spring, and the starlight bird's feather, Oliver felt a growing sense of purpose within him. The time had come to unlock the true magic of the garden, and he knew that this moment was the culmination of everything he had learned so far. The journey had been challenging, yet filled with incredible moments of joy, discovery, and the bond he had formed with his new friends. As Oliver stood before the ancient tree, the golden bark shimmering in the soft light, Luna by his side, he felt the weight of the moment settle over him. The air was still, and the garden itself seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. Luna's voice broke the silence. "Oliver, you've done well. The magic of the garden is waiting for you. But you must now combine these treasures and offer them to the heart of the garden. Only then will you unlock the true power that lies here." Oliver nodded, his heart racing. He placed the golden petal gently into the palm of his paw, feeling its delicate warmth. Next, he placed the crystal from the sacred spring beside it, its smooth surface reflecting the light of the moon. Finally, he held the starlight bird's feather in his mouth, its shimmer like a piece of the night sky itself. As he carefully arranged the treasures at the base of the tree, a soft hum began to resonate in the air. The ground beneath him vibrated with energy, and a faint glow began to emerge from the tree. The golden bark seemed to pulse in rhythm with the heartbeat of the earth. Luna stepped back, her eyes filled with quiet pride. "It's time, Oliver. The magic will recognize your heart, your bravery, and the kindness you've shown to the garden and its creatures." Oliver's paws trembled slightly as he stepped back, watching the treasures glow brighter and brighter. The hum grew louder, vibrating in the very core of his being. And with a final burst of energy, a brilliant light enveloped the entire garden. The flowers seemed to bloom even more intensely, their colors richer and more vibrant. The air became filled with the sweet scent of fresh blooms, and the once quiet garden now pulsed with life and magic. The ancient tree began to transform. Its branches stretched further into the sky, and its leaves shimmered with a silver glow. The glowing orbs that had hung from its branches now turned into wisps of light, floating gently through the air. The tree was alive in a way it had never been before, its power unleashed by Oliver's act of bravery and friendship. Oliver stood in awe, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace and connection with the garden. The magic that flowed through the air was not just about power. It was about the unity of all living things, the beauty that arises from care and love. The garden was not just a place. It was a living, breathing entity connected to every creature that called it home. Luna walked forward, her eyes soft with admiration. "You've done it, Oliver. The garden is alive in a way it never has been before. Its magic is not just in the treasures you found, but in your heart, your courage, and your willingness to protect this place." Oliver looked around, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He had been chosen not because he was the strongest or the most powerful, but because he had the heart to love, protect, and nurture the world around him. The garden was now part of him, just as he was part of it. I never imagined I could do something like this, Oliver said quietly, his voice filled with wonder. But I've learned that magic isn't about finding something hidden or powerful. It's about how we care for what's around us, how we treat the world and those we love. Luna nodded, her smile wide. Exactly, Oliver. True magic is found in every act of kindness, every moment of love, and every step taken with courage. And now the garden will continue to thrive, just as you will. Oliver felt a warmth spread through his chest as the last of the magic settled into the garden. The garden was alive, stronger than ever before. It was a place of peace, joy, and connection, a place where friendship and love could flourish forever. As Luna and Oliver stood side by side, looking at the now glowing garden, they both knew that this was only the beginning. The garden's magic was not just a one-time event. It was a living force, a force that would continue to grow, just like the bond between Oliver and the creatures of the garden. With the garden now fully alive with magic, Oliver stood tall, his heart filled with both awe and determination. The shimmering tree, once dormant, now radiated with an energy he had never imagined. The petals, leaves, and even the wind itself seemed to carry the garden's essence. It was as if the entire place was breathing with him. And yet, Oliver knew that his journey was far from over. Luna, standing beside him, noticed the seriousness in his gaze. There is more to be done, Oliver. This garden, this magic, is not just for us. It is meant to be shared. And you, as its guardian, must protect it from those who might seek to use it for their own gain. Oliver's eyes widened. You mean there are others who might want the magic of the garden? Luna nodded solemnly. Yes, the garden's power has always attracted those who seek to control it. But remember, its true strength lies in the love and care it has received. No one can take it unless they understand the heart of the garden. That's why it's crucial that you stand watch over it, protecting its magic and ensuring it remains in balance. A heavy silence fell between them as Oliver gazed over the garden once more. The beauty of it, the peace it brought, and the friendships it fostered all seemed fragile in the face of such knowledge. But deep inside, Oliver felt a sense of responsibility. This was his home now. These creatures, these trees, the very air they breathed, it was all connected, and he would protect it. I won't let anything happen to it, Oliver said firmly. I promise, Luna. Luna smiled warmly, her eyes reflecting pride. I know you won't. You have the heart of a true guardian. The days following the activation of the garden's magic were filled with wonder. Oliver, Luna, and the garden's creatures watched as the magic slowly spread, causing everything to flourish. The flowers became more vibrant, the trees more majestic, and the air even more fragrant. The energy of the garden seemed to pulse like a heartbeat, and Oliver could feel it within himself. One evening, as Oliver sat under the glowing branches of the ancient tree, Benny the rabbit and Toby the squirrel joined him. They chatted joyfully, as they had so many times before. But this time, something felt different. The air around them hummed with energy, and even the stars above seemed to shine brighter than usual. "Oliver," Benny said, his voice full of excitement. "This garden, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it." Toby nodded eagerly. "Yeah, everything feels alive, like we're all part of something bigger." Oliver smiled at his friends, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "It's because we all care for it," he said, his voice soft but confident. "This garden, this magic, it's not just about the treasures or the power. It's about the love we put into it." However, their peaceful time was soon interrupted. One morning, while Oliver was tending to the flowers near the sacred spring, Luna approached him with a serious look on her face. "Oliver," she began, her voice grave, "there's a disturbance. I can feel it. Someone has come to the edge of the garden." Oliver's heart skipped a beat. "Who? What do they want?" Luna looked off into the distance, her sharp eyes scanning the horizon. "I don't know yet, but it's not good. You must be careful. Protect the garden. Protect what we've worked so hard for." Oliver nodded, his body tensing with alertness. This was it, the true test of his role as the garden's guardian. The magic, the friendships, the journey. It all came down to this moment. With a final glance at Luna, he took a deep breath and began walking toward the edge of the garden, where he could sense the disturbance. As Oliver approached the entrance to the garden, he saw a shadowy figure standing at the edge just outside the protective barrier. The figure's outline was hard to make out, but Oliver could feel the presence, unsettling, dark, and full of intention. He narrowed his eyes and stood his ground, feeling the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders. "You're too late," Oliver said, his voice steady but firm. "This garden is protected. You cannot take what isn't yours." The figure stepped forward, revealing itself. It was a tall, cloaked figure, their face obscured by shadows. In their hand, they held an ancient-looking staff, its tip glowing with a faint, eerie light. "I've come for the magic," the figure's voice rasped. "The power of this garden belongs to those who can control it. And that young guardian is what I intend to do." Oliver felt his heart race. He knew he could not let this stranger take the magic. He had worked too hard, and the bond he had with the garden and its creatures was far too strong to be broken. You won't succeed. Oliver, said his voice, full of determination. With that, Oliver stood tall, his paws glowing with the garden's magic. He focused on the connection between himself and the garden, calling on the energy within. The ground beneath him hummed with power. The trees swayed in response, and the air grew thick with magic. The stranger raised their staff, and a blast of energy shot toward Oliver. But he was ready. With a swift movement, Oliver harnessed the garden's magic and sent a pulse of energy back at the figure deflecting the attack. A battle of magic and willpower began. But Oliver knew that this was not just about protecting the garden. It was about protecting everything he had come to love. The air between Oliver and the cloaked figure crackled with tension. The garden, now alive with magic, pulsed beneath Oliver's paws, resonating with his resolve. Every leaf, every flower seemed to share in his determination, supporting him with their silent strength. The figure's eyes gleamed from within the shadows of the cloak. You are strong, little guardian, the stranger sneered. But strength alone will not be enough to protect this place. You're still so young, so inexperienced. Oliver's heart raced, but his stance remained firm. He had come too far, and the garden meant more to him than just its beauty. It represented everything he had learned, the friends he had made, and the peaceful balance he'd fought for. There was no way he would let this stranger take it. You don't understand, Oliver replied, his voice steady, despite the chaos around him. This garden isn't just about magic. It's about love, trust, and the bonds we've formed. And those are things you can never take. The figure raised their staff again, a dark energy swirling around the tip, gathering force. I don't need to take your love, guardian. I just need to take your power, the figure hissed. With a swift motion, the staff unleashed a dark blast of energy toward Oliver. The air grew heavy with the force of the attack, and the garden seemed to shudder under the weight of it. But Oliver wasn't alone. The garden responded to his call, and with a sudden surge of energy, the ground beneath him came alive. The roots of the trees twisted and rose, forming a protective barrier between him and the attack. Not today, Oliver muttered under his breath, focusing all his energy on the barrier, reinforcing it with the love he had for the garden and the creatures within it. His paws glowed with golden light as he pushed back against the dark magic, sending a shock wave of pure energy toward the cloaked figure. The figure staggered back momentarily, stunned by the force, impossible, they gasped. How are you doing this? Oliver stood tall, heart pounding, but his gaze unyielding. Because this garden is not just a place, he said firmly. It's a part of me, and I will never let you destroy it. With that, he took a step forward, feeling the strength of the earth beneath his paws. The garden's magic, combined with his own newfound courage, surged through him. Oliver sent a burst of energy from his body, channeling the magic of the garden. The ground beneath him erupted in a wave of light, and the cloaked figure was knocked off their feet, falling back against the force of the blast. For a moment, the figure lay motionless, their staff dropping from their hand. Oliver stood still, watching carefully. Was it over? Then, to his surprise, the figure began to rise again, their form becoming more tangible, their features more distinct. They removed their cloak, revealing a gaunt face with hollow eyes. Their body was covered in dark robes, and their hands trembled slightly as they reached for their staff. You may have won this round, Guardian, the figure said, their voice now tinged with something close to admiration. But remember, there are always those who will try to take what is not theirs. The power of the garden is a temptation no one can resist. Be ready. Oliver didn't move as the figure stepped backward, slowly vanishing into the shadows of the garden, leaving nothing behind but a whisper of dark energy. Oliver stood in the quiet aftermath, panting slightly, but feeling a sense of relief wash over him. The garden was safe for now. Luna appeared beside him, her silver fur glowing softly in the aftermath of the battle. You did it, Oliver. You protected the garden, and you've proven that the power of love and friendship can overcome even the greatest of threats. Oliver looked around, taking in the peaceful surroundings, the gentle rustle of the trees, the soft scent of blooming flowers, and the quiet hum of the garden's magic. It was all still there, thriving, alive, and full of promise. I couldn't have done it alone, Oliver said, his voice soft with gratitude. This garden, these creatures, this magic, it's all of ours, and I will protect it with everything I have. Luna smiled, her eyes filled with pride. I knew you had it in you, Oliver. You are the guardian this garden needed. As the sun set over the garden, casting a warm, golden glow across the landscape, Oliver stood beside Luna, Benny, and Toby. They had faced a threat together, and they had emerged victorious. The bond between them had only grown stronger, and the garden, though still a little shaken from the attack, was more alive than ever. Oliver looked up, and the stars beginning to twinkle above. The garden was not just a place he protected. It was a place of peace, of unity, of love. And with his friends by his side, He knew that no matter what came next, they would face it together. The garden's magic was alive, and so was the spirit of the creatures within it. Together, they would always protect it. The days following the battle were filled with peace. Yet Oliver felt a deep sense of responsibility settle over him. The garden had been protected for now, but Luna's words echoed in his mind. There will always be those who seek the magic. He knew that he could never let his guard down again. The journey of protecting the garden had only just begun. One afternoon, as the sun bathed the garden in its golden light, Oliver, Luna, Benny, and Toby gathered together in their favorite spot by the ancient tree. The once battered branches had now grown stronger, and the flowers seemed to glow brighter than ever. The garden was healing, and so were they. "I've been thinking," Oliver said, his voice thoughtful. "We've done so much to protect this garden, but what about the future? How do we keep it safe when we're not always here?" Luna, standing tall by his side, her silver fur shimmering in the light, glanced at him with understanding. "The garden will always need protection, Oliver, but it also needs to grow. It needs to be shared with others who will understand its beauty and its magic." Benny, sitting nearby, nodded. "We can teach others how to care for it, how to protect it. Maybe other creatures can join us in keeping the garden safe." Toby, with his usual boundless energy, leapt onto a branch. "Yeah, we can spread the word. Tell everyone about the garden's magic. Let's create a community of guardians." Oliver smiled at his friends. They had always been there for him through every challenge, every moment of doubt. They had shown him that protecting the garden wasn't just about fighting threats. It was about love, trust, and working together. And now he knew what he had to do. "We'll start small," Oliver said, feeling a spark of hope ignite within him. "We'll invite creatures from the forest to join us to help protect the garden. We'll teach them what we've learned. Together, we can make sure the garden thrives for generations to come." Luna smiled softly, her eyes full of pride. "You've learned much, Oliver. You've become the guardian the garden needs. And now you will be the guide to others." As weeks passed, the garden continued to grow, and so did the community around it. Oliver, with Luna by his side, began gathering animals from all corners of the forest. From the playful rabbits to the wise old owls, they all came together to share in the responsibility of protecting the garden. The first lesson they taught was simple love and care. They showed the creatures how to tend to the flowers, how to respect the balance of nature, and how to cherish the magic that flowed through the garden. The animals worked together, each contributing in their own way. Benny and Toby organized fun races and games to teach the younger creatures about the garden's importance. Luna shared her wisdom, teaching the animals how to sense when danger approached and how to protect the garden from harm. The community grew stronger with each passing day. There was a newfound sense of unity, a collective understanding that the garden was more than just a beautiful place. It was a living testament to the bonds they shared. But even as the garden flourished, Oliver knew that there would always be more challenges, more trials to face. Yet with his friends by his side and a community that believed in the magic of love and care, he knew they would always be ready. One evening, as the garden lay under the soft glow of the moon, Oliver stood by the ancient tree, once again, his heart full of gratitude. The garden was alive, more alive than ever. It pulsed with energy, with life, with love. And it was stronger because it was not just one creature who cared for it, but an entire community. "Look how far we've come," Oliver whispered, his voice full of pride. Luna stood beside him, her eyes twinkling with the same sense of pride. "It's not just about protecting the garden anymore. It's about creating a legacy, a place where love and unity will always endure." Benny and Toby joined them both, smiling brightly. "We did it, Oliver. We created something beautiful." Oliver looked around, his eyes resting on the animals, now tending to the garden with care. The flowers were brighter, the trees taller, and the air itself seemed to hum with life. The garden had become a place of peace, a symbol of everything they had worked for, of every lesson learned, every bond formed, and every challenge faced. As the stars twinkled above them, Oliver knew that no matter what came next, the garden would always be protected. Not by just one, but by many hearts, each filled with love and a shared responsibility to care for this place. And so, with the garden safe and the magic stronger than ever, Oliver and his friends stand united. Together, they've proven that love, friendship, and courage are the true sources of strength. The garden, now more vibrant than before, is a symbol of their unwavering bond and determination. Remember, no matter the challenges life throws at you, with the right heart and the right friends by your side, you can overcome anything. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Until next time, keep believing in the magic around you.